welcome back, everyone, to the Off Court Podcast, the paddle podcast covering all your paddle needs. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining us. It's been a while.
We've been gone.
We're
back, though.
We're back, and we're back for good. We have lives and trips and things getting in the way, so we try always our best because we love doing this.
Yeah.
And we know you guys love it too, but sometimes just things get in the way. But we're back. We're going to be covering a little bit of what happened since we've been gone.
Yeah, there's some things that have happened while we weren't here. Of course, Chingalan take the race win right now, pushing themselves into the number one spot for the race. And so, of course, we have to cover that a little bit.
But we will also be covering the latest tournament, the Brussels P2, which was beautiful, very exciting because of everything that happened. No spoilers, but you probably all know already what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Getting into Lebrón Augsburger, Chingalan, CoTapia, what's happening there. The race on the women's side as well. New pairings.
Yes.
Very exciting stuff, guys.
Yes.
So let's get right into it.
It's good to be back, first of all.
Yeah, it is good to be back.
Feels good here looking at this. Okay. Yeah. Chingalan, they took the number one spot of what happened while winning the race.
Yeah.
We missed out on Miami and
P1.
also New Giza as well.
Yeah.
So those are the two opportunities because Coello Tapia weren't playing in New Giza. They also lost in Miami as well.
Yeah.
In the home of Coello. Oh my gosh. That's twice now, I think, right? He hasn't got his win there.
Yeah. Same.
Tough loss.
We missed it, but we didn't really because it got canceled, the Qatar Major.
Yeah.
Because of the war. We don't really know what's going on with that. We don't know if it's going to come back later in the year, if they're going to replace it with something. We will see.
We only get 4 majors, so it sucks that we missed one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're big points to grab. But yes.
But it's been a while since Coello and Tapia haven't grabbed a title, which is...
No, dude. They've also been on holiday.
Yeah.
they missed New Giza as well. They're like, we don't need to do this. I wonder how they feel that they miss out at a tournament and then because of that, Chingalan take the lead in the race.
I don't know.
I mean, to them, it's kind of like, they got the lead for now, man. But like, let's keep going.
Exactly. And I mean, the only reason they can afford to miss New Giza is because...
They're cushy.
They're cushy, financially speaking.
I mean, I'm sure they would have
ranking speaking.
They would have loved to take a win this weekend, but that's not what we saw, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's blast through the new pairings as well, because it's always like that in the world of Premier Padel.
As you guys know, as soon as you go down the rankings a little bit within the top 20 pairs, you've got 4 or 5 solid pairings at the top.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you go moving down the bottom, things start to shift. It's a bit of the domino effect.
Exactly.
So let's start with this tournament.
Yeah, the new pairing that we saw.
2 new pairings. We saw Teo Alonso splitting up.
Yeah.
Alonso choosing now to play with Aymar Goñi.
Yes.
Another promise. Very young player.
It's a great player to watch. And obviously we're seeing more games with him now. And hopefully we'll see more games with him playing. I am a really big fan of the partnership of Alonso and Goñi. I think both, when Alonso was playing with Teo, I was a little bit like, there's no punch. There's no drive. I do think Alonso being a younger player is great, but I think we saw that partnership end with Teo pretty quickly, and to see them get through and play their games in Brussels this weekend, it makes sense to me now. Goñi's an amazing smasher, a lot of power, and I'm excited to see where this pairing goes, basically.
It's a bit of a different partner for Alonso. It was Alonso, obviously, who called up Aymar Goñi.
Yeah.
And he sort of put all his chips on him, betting everything on Aymar, both being from the Gus Prato Academy, so they can train together every day. They live close, they train together, which is also always a plus. They actually, their first tournament together, they did pretty well. They beat Garrido Bergamini in round of 16 in a 3-set match. And then they played a very competitive match. I think it was like a 7-5, 6-4 against Leburger in quarterfinals. So making quarterfinals in their first tournament together is huge.
It's great.
Aymar Goñi, I think last year he made 1 quarterfinals. I can't remember which tournament exactly, but it was a big win for him, and obviously in his ranking, those points mean a lot.
They're on my ones to watch. I think they could add a little bit of trouble early on in the tournaments, and the round 16s getting into a quarter. I want to see them stick together, build on this partnership, and let's see where they go. But it's good to see also Ed Alonso have a partner that is also, can push him there a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
and
sick.
he needs that extra punch, as you said, that extra power.
The drive, man.
That Goni brings.
It's incredible. Next new pairing.
On the
I
other
say new, it's
side.
not really new. They used to play together. Paquito and Deneno.
Well, before that, we Teo and Maxi Arce. Obviously, Alonso and Teo split up. Teo bet on Maxi Arce, this semi-new Argentinian lefty.
Done very well.
They haven't done great in this. They got knocked out pretty early on against Paquito and Fran Guerrero. But, there's still a lot of time to improve. They're good friends, both Argentinian. But, yeah, that's a new pairing we also need to watch out for. And now, yes.
Paquito Deneno. So we can see them come back together a little bit.
The two legends.
Feelings of it? How does it sound?
I mean, everyone's feels very excited about it.
Yeah.
They have played together in the past for a long time, and they did really well together when both of them were younger. But, I mean, Paquito, he feels like he's playing musical chairs over here.
He's I don't know. We've lost count now on how many partners this guy's, ran through in the last 6-7 months, basically. But you know what? I think this pairing in particular might be the pairing that, you kind of grown a little bit if you have to play them in round 16. They could give you a lot of force to have to play
a lot of
with.
Experience with both of them combined.
Exactly.
Intense moments. It is chemistry wise, it is a good pairing that I could see them doing well. They are missing a bit of a punch that you need nowadays in this like new paddle that we're seeing more and more. But yeah, watch out for them because they could put you in, against the ropes. Obviously, Deneno leaving Momo Gonzalez.
Yeah. It's a pairing. If you guys saw it, we did our ranking episodes at the beginning of the year, doing predictions, and it was a pairing that we didn't feel like would have a lot of oomph, a lot of power, and it kind of matched up to that. That's probably like one of our predictions that we've ever got right.
Yeah, I think Deneno with he hadn't been knocked out before quarterfinals. Consecutively since like 2019, and with Momo in the last like 2 tournaments, they got knocked out early by pairings like up and coming pairings.
Just something like young guns, bro. Just
who are like also people like players to watch out for. But Momo Gonzalez with the separation is now going to be playing with Campagnolo.
Yep.
Who is back after his injury scare.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been really, really bad. He said, he felt his like knee pop backwards after trying to go for a dunk after a smash from his rivals. They checked him out and they were like, dude, this could be like really, really bad. We're going to look into it.
Yeah.
They looked into it and actually it was a little tear on the meniscus, which is
I don't even know what a meniscus is, but
I think it's like it's like the bone on the knee. I think something like that.
He came close to it, having a serious injury.
It could have been really bad. It isn't. He's
a big guy as well, bro. He's kind of built.
He's the bull, man.
Yeah, he's built like a military sergeant.
Yeah, he's
bro.
like a little tank.
Every time I see him, he's just bigger and bigger, bro. I'm like, okay, let's go, bro.
So excited about that pairing as well. They could, they could present some problems to the higher ranked pairs.
Yeah,
we'll see. Another split, Leal and Cardona, who, I mean, didn't work. I think Cardona's still like warming up after his
injury. He's been out for several months.
For a long, long time. So Leal is now going to be playing with Fran Guerrero. Fran Guerrero having played with Paquito before. Leal and Guerrero are like best buds from like the... under 18s, juniors categories. They played like they've won World Cups, like junior World Cups together. They've known each other since they're like 12, 13. So them playing again together now, I mean, it's an exciting new pairing. We know Leal can be a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I think someone like Fran Guerrero could, really
balance
be
it out. A lot of power, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Young guns, we'll see how they do. But new pairings.
Mm-hmm. And that leaves what? That leaves...
the outcasts almost. These aren't confirmed yet.
That leaves Jairo Bautista, who was playing with Campagnolo, and Pablo Cardona, who was playing with Leal. Not confirmed yet. Are they going to join forces? They could, because it makes sense in terms of what side they play on. But they are currently without a partner. Yeah. Maybe they join forces. We'll see.
Who knows? We'll find out in the next coming days. Yeah. We'll see what the next tournament is as well, and if they're signed up to that or not. But though we did just shout a bunch of names at you, so If you know the names, that's good.
Yeah.
But if not, we just got to keep you guys updated.
You know how this goes, guys.
It moves so fast.
All of a sudden, there's one day 7 different
Partners.
news of pairings and switch ups. So it's also, we have to keep on top of that. But yeah.
Okay. The race.
Yeah, the race.
Let's reflect on the race. For those, I'm sure you guys know, there's also a race within points of the season. Let's see where the standings. Obviously, we've just dropped that Chingalan are now in number 1 spot, holding that down with a small gap from Coello and Tapia. Chingalan at 3,070 points.
Yeah.
And not that far behind Coello and Tapia with 2,920. Obviously,
so it's on.
It's on. I mean, they're up ahead, man. They're up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with a result like that we got this weekend at Brussels, after Coello and Tapia being away for a little bit, that's not the ideal comeback that they wanted. Obviously, they got the points for being in the finals. Leburger did knock out Chingalan in semis.
Yeah.
So it is on. And then just not to forget about Leburger, they're at 1,815 points.
The stars of the Brussels P2.
Exactly.
They are over 1,000 points behind Coello and Tapia in 3rd place. But, I mean...
Look,
we'll see.
now, the number 1, the Golden Boys, aren't in number 1. So I think that's a lot of pressure to put on them, and we can see how they perform. Obviously, we know they're number 1 for a reason, or they've, been ranked number 1 for the last year or two now. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Can Chingalan run away with it? I think after this weekend, they have some reflecting to do.
Yeah.
Some analysis they need to look back on and hopefully put this weekend behind them and then come in hot on the next one.
Let's not forget that this race is, I guess, the main thing that everyone, like, it's the main...
it's important.
Aim, the main goal that every single player, every single pairing has throughout the season is, I want to make it to the Barcelona finals.
Exactly.
I want to make it within the top 8, top 16 players, ideally. For some, it's like already, obviously, Chingalan and Coello and Tapia and Lebrón Augsburger are going to be there, whether they're first, second, third, doesn't matter. There's no way they're going to be below the 8th ranked pair.
Yep.
But that's like the main goal, right? And to be crowned, for those who can fight for that spot, to be crowned number 1 at the end of the season
that's what they want.
Is the
when
main
they start
thing,
the
right?
season, we want to be the one. We want to win the race.
Exactly.
Let's go. The race is definitely on. Let's see how the next few tournaments pan out, and that gap really isn't close. Okay, the gap from Coello and Tapia to Leburger, that's 1,000 points.
It's exciting, man. It's what we want. It's what we
Now we're cooking. Now we got to see them battle it out, and let's see what happens. We can't forget about the women's side as well,
which is always the most exciting,
obviously, which they haven't been on a great streak the last 3 tournaments, especially the 2 that we were away for. But Delphi and Brea still hold 3,120 points with a small gap of Gonzalez and Josemaria, who have been on a good streak because they've beaten Delphi and Gemma 3 times now in a row. They're on a streak.
They started the season terribly.
Yes. Yeah.
Now they've had 3 back-to-back tournament wins. So they're at 2,920 points. And then we've got
Sanchez Ostero.
Slightly, it's a bit less difference than we have between Coello and Tapia and Lebrón Augsburger. But Gonzalez, Josemaria, 2nd place. Sanchez Ostero in 3rd place with 2,080 points. So like 700 whatever points behind the 2nd seeds so far. So on the women's side,
I mean, look, we're reaching the point of the whole season. We're about a quarter of our way through the season now, and for the on men's and women's side for 1st and 2nd place, it couldn't be any tighter, really. Obviously, it's a small margin in between them. So let's see who can take it. I mean, we'll talk about Gonzalez and Josemaria in their own segment a little bit later on. But they are a pairing that it's been great to see tournament by tournament, how they improve, how they reflect on what their weaknesses as a new pairing. Let's not forget. And let's go. 3 wins in a row. Perfect. This is exactly what we want. And we can see the stress build and the eyes of Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's our little recap from what we missed, guys. Obviously, there's some other things that we missed, but this episode is about Brussels. Let's dive into Brussels. Oh, I'm missing all my words up. Let's dive into Brussels.
Let's do it, man.
What a beautiful tournament.
Amazing.
Guys, I think that's what we can all agree on, though, really. It's like, genuinely, probably, I think my favorite tournament, or maybe my top 3 favorite tournaments of the year.
I think it's definitely top 3.
I love the venue, even though there was like one weird thing where a ball would occasionally hit the roof of the venue, and you couldn't really tell, but that's one thing. I don't care about that much. I just love the energy of the crowd, the visuals of the court, the black court, the nice like sort of regal
Indoor,
brown. Yeah,
no issue.
but it's kind of like a hybrid, low key. Like
it's got a roof.
It's indoors, but yeah, I like it. It's like
but you can see like the sun seeping in and the shadows and stuff.
Maybe that's something that we enjoy aesthetically. I'm sure if you're playing and there's like a big light patch on the court, you might not like that. However, aesthetically for us, it looks really, really great. Yeah. And I think it's much better than the intense like blue courts in a dark room in a warehouse, like in a closed stadium. And I don't know, easier on the eye. I'm picky with this. It
feels elegant.
It does.
You know,
they have these cool like lights on the outside, and
feels
I'm like,
a bit classy.
Yeah,
you know?
It does feel very
like
classy.
A well organized. It's very like Northern European vibes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
they're on that.
Well organized. Things don't go wrong.
Utopia.
No,
it was beautiful.
But
And
I mean, the best thing we do it every year. We did it the last time we covered Brussels P2. Big shout out to the Belgian crowd.
Yes.
I mean,
also,
stadium filled even in like early rounds.
Exactly.
The Belgian paddle scene loves Premier Padel, man.
I'm there for it.
They love watching it. They give energy.
Yep.
Most of the seats are filled.
Yep.
In most of the games. They're there. They're giving the energy. They're giving the vibes, and I think that elevates the tournament like loads.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the crowd that can hype up Augsburger.
For all our Belgian listeners and fans,
thank you.
You guys rock.
No, that was awesome.
Up.
No, I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved it. Also, thoughts on the court conditions, the speed of the court. How did we find it?
Ideal, I think. Perfect. We're gonna call it. Let's see if you guys agree with us. Like a nice intermediate
hybrid
intermediate, meaning if you can hit it and you can smash and you've got good technique and you choose when to hit the ball, you will get rewarded by it, and you can pop it out and you can get winners off of that. At the same time, you don't. So it's no Santiago where everyone's smashing, or Valladolid or one of these like crazy
average
fast-paced
3-shot rally type of thing. You can still build up a point here.
But if you're Augsburger, Galan, Coello, if you're one of those hard hitters, you will get rewarded by it. So it's good because it just brings a bit more competitiveness into it. It means that pairings like Coki and John Sanz,
they have a chance. They can put
we
pressure.
will talk about because it's the match of the tournament by far.
100%.
They can shine and they can't put Coello and Tapia against the ropes. It's a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
So
the outcomes are more unpredictable, I think, and that's kind of what we're here for.
Yeah.
And I think it is a pretty unpredictable weekend, really. If you look at our headlines,
100%.
I think we might be getting into our first game, which is a semifinals game. We're kind of following the eyes of Juan Lebrón, Leo Augsburger, because
the stars of the Brussels P2.
They deserve it. We have to give them their flowers, and we are starting with probably the most anticipated game we've been asking for the last 4 months or however long.
The rivals of paddle.
We got a Leburger Chingalan semifinals. We've been begging. There's been many times in the last few tournaments that we get teased like this is a possible outcome, and we didn't get it, and we got it this time.
We got it.
How did you feel when we got it, and versus what the game was like when you were watching
it? The game I think was, the result was a bit unexpected. I still think it was a good game, but purely because no hate towards Chingalan. It's not that I'm a Leburger fan or a Chingalan, but I kind of wanted the, I guess, underdogs, the ones who were, if you looked at betting, you'd get more money betting on
Chingalan.
No, you get more money betting on Leburger winning.
The odds were in favor of Chingalan.
In favor of Chingalan just because of purely by numbers and statistics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. We finally got what we wanted, and we finally seen in this tournament in general, in this game, in the final as well, which we will talk about. What I wanted to see from Leburger. They are finally showing how they can play paddle. They've gotten so much better, and I mean, they took it. They took it with 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4. Your classic.
There's
one
a break
point.
point in the middle somewhere at 3-3-4-4, and then they're flying away with it. And we've seen that before.
And it's a good like clapback as well from Leburger, having lost against in round 16 against Jensen Hernandez, losing the 3rd set 6-0.
The bounce back was real, bro.
The bounce back is crazy.
Getting knocked out in round 16, then coming back and winning a whole tournament. that's obviously sport,
Yeah.
but like
Anything can happen,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I mean, I don't know how you saw this game, but I'm pretty sure you agree with me because it's more of a fact rather than an opinion. I mean, Chingalan were not
no,
at their
and
best,
that's why
were they?
I'm not gonna be disappointed, but yeah, it wasn't. I think I built like a WWE-esque scenario
Yeah.
of like, this is a perfectly scripted game that's gonna go in my head, and
Yeah.
like that's what I was imagining.
The
And-
narrative is there, like
exactly, and
yeah.
of course, when two teams walk onto the court, there's always going to be one winner and one loser. I just didn't want Chingalan to go out like that,
Yeah.
basically, and it was kind of a tough game to watch because I think, first of all, okay, you have Chingo and you have Galan as well, and we all know they need each other, basically. We need each other to obviously win a game. That's obvious.
They're quite dependent on one
Yeah.
another.
But for me, it's like you can see in Galan's eyes when he's playing a mental game in his own head. And yeah, maybe he, Chingo on the right wasn't at his best either. Both of them are equally, responsible for, the outcome of the game. Don't get me wrong. But Galan, it was tough to watch a little bit. And yeah, you just know when he's not playing. Come on, we've all seen him play at the best, and this is a weekend that he just wasn't. And that's why I'm a little disappointed of the outcome of the game. I'm happy for Lebrón and Augsburger, and we got a crazy good final too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I imagine it to be a little bit more theatrical in my head instead of a deflated performance from Galan. And also, I think genuinely, as we said, it was the classic, we saw that score 6-4, 6-4. It takes one break point to skew the momentum of the game and put it in the favor. And what was that break point that Galan gave away? Look, he's a human at the end of the day, but it does suck seeing a double fault.
I mean, it's something you never see,
No, you
especially
really
especially from someone like Galan.
That's something you see when you go to your local club and you do a double fault. We've all done it in high pressure situations. It doesn't feel good.
Especially at that like key moment of the match. It's very, very rare to see, but it echoes what you were saying right now. It just goes to show how mentally switched off Ale Galan was from this in this match.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bit of a bittersweet feeling, you know. We wanted this rivalry. We love this rivalry, and maybe we didn't get the match that this rivalry deserves.
Yeah.
Not to take any flowers away from Leburger.
Yeah, obviously.
I think it was maybe a bit more. Chingalan lost the game more than Leburger won. If that
100%.
makes sense.
I agree
you know
with
what
that
I mean?
completely. And that's what it felt like. That's why I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
That's the game that we got, but that's the nature of it.
And we've seen Galan multiple times, as you said before. If he wants to, when he has the good day, he's the best player in the world.
Yeah.
He gets 40 winners in the game if he wants, in one match.
Yeah.
If he wants to. But when he does have bad days,
it sucks,
it's hard for him to switch on mentally. And as you said, you can see it in his eyes how like
he knows. He
gets frustrated, and then you have Chingo on the other side, really like being like, "Come on, man, we can." He's not mad at him at all.
Yeah.
He's just like,
he just knows.
Come on, dude. Come on. Let's we want attitude. Fine, you did a double fault. Let's switch back on. And it was just not possible for Chingalan in these semis.
Yeah, and you got a 6-4, 6-4. Yeah. Leburger take the win, book themselves into a finals, which is great to see.
Yeah.
We're talking about Chingalan a lot in this scenario, but I do think that was the level of competition.
Yeah,
as we said, if we look at the stats as well, Augsburger with 20 winners, Lebrón with 12, Galan with 16, and Chingo with 7.
With a total of 32 to 23, so more.
Yeah.
So significantly more winners for Lebrón and Augsburger. But then, if we look at the unforced errors. Quite similar by all four players individually for a total of 29 for Leburger to 25 Chingalan. Even though Leburger did more unforced errors, they had more winners, those 2 break points as well. So in the end, they end up getting the dub there. But it is interesting to see how, and especially when we look at the final numbers as well, how in both games, Lebrón and Augsburger do more unforced errors than their rivals.
Yeah.
But also more winners.
Yeah.
It's a very which begs the question why is that? What are they doing? I think it's just that they're bringing their all in
Yeah, of course, it's their aggression.
pairing, right?
That's something we'll talk about it as well in the final against Coello and Tapia. But yeah, that is their style, is just to attack, smother. If we make a mistake, if Augsburger goes for a smash and puts the ball into the back wall, it's like that doesn't matter anymore when you're suffocating and putting as many winners and trying to make every point a tactical winner for you. That's all that you need at this point, and I think that's their mentality. It's like
a high risk, high reward investment, isn't it? It's
exactly,
like,
and it pays off.
We're gonna go all in. We're gonna do it. We're gonna try and smash as much as we can. We're gonna go for the risky plays.
Yeah,
we're gonna push the net. We're gonna talk about this now.
Yeah,
we will make more mistakes, but hopefully in doing that, we also get more winners because we've risked more.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's a brutal way of winning. That's how you take advantage of your opponent, especially when you know they're not playing well. You just have to smother them and keep reminding them that today's not your day, it's ours. And I think that's like a good reminder for Leburger in this situation. And they did it. I think that's it at the end of the day.
Also, first encounter of Augsburger and Galan after their little beef session. We talked about it in our latest episode in Cancun about...
There was also some beef that happened while we were away as well.
Yeah.
And that happened on court between Augsburger and Lebrón, which is like... inevitable. I think probably when they got knocked out in round 16, in Miami. I mean, in New Giza.
Yeah.
It looks okay. Like beef happens, and obviously we would have ate that up like piranhas. Really, I'll be honest. But upon reflection, these guys move on, and Augsburger has definitely said some things about Galan that maybe he does
questionable.
His questionable things. Maybe he might not regret it, or he said what he said, and you can't really take that back, especially when there's 5 microphones and a few cameras and the whole internet to see what you said. It looks like they patched things up. It looks like they had some form of... You'd imagine they would have some form of conversation.
Augsburger did say in the press conference, he did mention, he was like... Because I think a reporter was trying to get some juice from it, and he did say, look, we hashed it out after the Cancun thing that happened.
Yeah.
We're all good. Galan didn't really take it personally. He did have a very mature response to Augsburger's words that he had to say about him, and I think they're just like they're kind of over it now.
And you know what, while we're here on this topic, and like now I feel like I'm writing like a tabloid for like gossip, but and I'm just like, still the hug, the handshake at the end between Lebrón and Galan was icier than ever, man. And that's
never... I think that's...
that's like a long thing, you know what I mean? At the beginning, when they took the photo at the beginning of the game, you can see there's a video of Galan, fucking patting Augsburger on the back, and they both smile and exchange that. However, at the end of that, when they win, Galan's obviously upset that he's lost too, I can imagine. That exchange between Lebrón and Galan will never feel quite the same anymore.
It's
really
a shame, but I mean, that ship has definitely sailed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like to see Galan act like that with Augsburger now, be like, hey, early days, you know what I mean? Let's not go into this like I've done already. And then just see the mannerisms and stuff like that. I'm reading into it.
Dude, I wonder if in this would be incredible if in like 20 years time, when they're both like retired and like in their 40s or whatever, or 50s, Galan and Lebrón, that they can do like a
exhibition
reunion.
Yeah, of course.
Or just like an interview, or like they go on a podcast, or maybe we could bring them here. Like,
let's bring them in and hash it out,
and have them, once everything's like the dust is settled and they're both like retired and don't really care about paddle anymore.
Yeah.
To like have a conversation.
Like, what actually was going on,
What actually
boys?
happened. I don't know. That would be kind of cool.
That's a heated rivalry right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. But yeah, that is, we're going to move into the finals now. Still following the trails of Leburger. We got a Leburger, Coello Tapia. Obviously, we've just discussed Chingalan getting knocked out in the semis. Who did Leburger book themselves in? The number ones. What's the anticipation for the game? How did you feel about it?
I mean, I was very, very excited for this final.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if maybe because there's a bit more, as I said, like narrative involved with the whole Galan-Lebrón rivalry.
Yeah.
But a final of a tournament with Coello Tapia and
I'm not
Lebrón
mad. I wasn't mad.
No, I
wasn't
at
mad.
the opposite. I was very happy. I was like, this is sick. And obviously also seeing a different final than we see usually.
Yep.
So I was very excited for it. And I mean, we got a hell of a game. We got a 3-setter.
Oh, yeah.
As you guys all probably know, if not, spoiler alert, Lebrón and Augsburger finally get their tournament win. They took it in 3 sets. 2-6, started off really bad, then came back on the second set 6-3 to win the third set 6-3 and take the dub. first tournament win proper title for LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he hasn't won a Premier Padel title since Cancun
So true.
2025.
Yeah.
Cancun. I think it was, I don't know if it was Cancun or Gijón. No, Cancun.
Yeah, last year.
Cancun, which was a boycott tournament.
Yeah.
So Lebrón Stupa took it, but like, I don't know if we
that
can
one doesn't
count it.
That doesn't count. It
but
doesn't
he's
count.
finally, after a couple tough years for LeBron in that sense, finally takes the dub. For Augsburger as well, huge. He's one of the, not counting the big four and other players like Paquito, Dineno, who have won throughout their careers many titles. Augsburger, out of all the newish players or the up-and-coming players, I mean, he's the only one who's actually winning titles. He won the Madrid P1 with Dineno last year, as we were saying before. I mean, he's got a World Cup under his belt as well, winning that third with Libac, which is an incredible feat as well. And now with another P2 under his belt, I mean,
he's earning his stripes, man.
He is.
For a young guy, what, 21?
Yeah, 21, 22.
His early 20s, you know what I mean? Playing with LeBron on your left side. And I think, I'm still thinking about it in my head, but the headline is a tournament where Leburger beat Chingalan in a semis, then going on to a finals and beating Coello Tapia.
Yeah.
You're taking out the number 2s and then the number 1s in one swift move, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there you go. And now we have it.
And if you also think about it, that's a good point. If we look at Augsburger's track record, he's one of the few. He's always been in the pair. I mean, he's the common denominator in beating several times, now 3 or 4 times each, beating Chingalan, beating Coello Tapia. He beat both of them with Cardona.
Yeah, very true.
Last year, a year ago. He did it with Dineno as well in the Madrid P1 back-to-back, also beating Lebrón and Stupa. And he's done it again now in Brussels.
He's becoming the anomaly here if you keep looking at the patterns here.
It's not easy to beat these two top pairings. We always talk about the gap between CoTapia, Chingalan, and the rest.
Yeah.
This guy is the one that's like making that distance shorter and shorter.
I know.
So,
I mean,
very exciting.
The pressure and the expectations that he's been spoken about by other players. You know, Tapia saying he's got the best smash on the circuit. We all know his strengths and everything like that, which I think at some point we're also going to break down in a little bit of analysis style.
Yeah,
of how are they doing it and why they're doing it and the right things that they're making. Maybe we'll do some stats before that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just before we go really into it, I think the general vibes of the game is it was almost like what's the word? It was almost like I'm on the edge of my seat, I guess, really, because it's like a first set that Coello and Tapia win, right? If we look at Coello and Tapia take the first set, 6-2.
I mean, come on.
We've seen that story before. We know how the second set will go down as well. But they flip the narrative. They go 6-3 to Leburger. And obviously, when we get that third set, that's where, and we'll flash it up here because if we do look at the performance chart as well, you can see at everyone's performance level just before the end of the second set going into the third. That's when they all meet.
Yeah.
And for me, that was obviously the height of the excitement. Obviously, we're excited to get a third set too. Don't get me wrong. It creates that narrative and atmosphere of, okay, this is the last set. Do whatever you can. And whoever wins this wins
on
the game.
Table. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the tournament.
It's one apiece each. Let's see who can take the second set. And that for me was the height of the game. That was the biggest entertainment point of the game. Like what comes after this in the next, hour of gameplay. That is what got me really excited. And that's when I was like, we're seeing some really good level of paddle right now from the best in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone on that court has booked themselves into a finals and they deserve to be there. Let's see how they do it and how are Leburger going to dismantle Coello Tapia,
I think for me, there's two things there.
Yeah.
Two key takeaways from this final. Number one is it just felt, I think, that, and Coello said this as well in the press conference, to me it felt like they just wanted it a bit more than Coello and Tapia. Like the way they felt a bit more hungry, which makes sense as well. They need it a lot more than Coello and Tapia do, and it means a lot more to them.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And when they're in that mode, when they're in that mindset, they're very, very dangerous.
Of course, yeah.
It's what Coello was like. That's what's difficult to deal with in this pairing, apart from their high level of paddle. It's the hunger. They live the games very vividly. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So it's hard to compete against that. You know,
Yeah.
it's also like a mental, emotional thing to it. So they wanted it a bit more. And also, I think, again, like Coello and Tapia are very used to Chingalan. They're very used to like playing these finals. They know exactly what they need to do. I do think there is an element of being a little bit thrown off with Lebrón Augsburger, who came into this tournament playing a different kind of paddle that they've been playing before with new weapons, which we'll talk about now. And I think they felt a bit out of place being like, this is something new that we're not exactly sure how to deal with.
Yeah.
That's
kind of what we saw, actually. Yeah. No, I think that perfectly describes like the perspective a little bit from Coello and Tapia and how to handle that and their live reaction to it. You know, I think as well if I think the stats also reflect that too, right?
Yes.
Like,
what are the numbers?
I mean, you know, 5 more unforced errors from Coello and Tapia, 23 to 28, small margin.
No, from
Augsburger and Lebrón. Sorry.
Augsburger and Lebrón, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where we'll pick into it a little bit about their aggressive style of play, high risk, high reward. 5 more winners, 44 to 39 from Leburger as well, and a whopping 31 winners from Augsburger.
Yeah.
31 winners from Augsburger.
Definitely takes the MVP
of course,
of the final. I mean, LeBron played exquisitely.
Yeah.
We all know the hands this guy has are
insane,
out
actually.
of this world. But I mean,
and it's almost like he's unlocked that again, you know, with playing, and now they're getting good synergy, and Augsburger can allow LeBron to play at his best level. It's really good paddle to see from LeBron, and I think, you know, if you started watching Premier Padel in the last 2 years during the slump of LeBron trying to find the right partner for him and trying to, you know, work on himself and all of that, to see him have these moments now of being like, okay, let's not forget this guy was number 1 for 4 years in a row, right? Like this is him almost playing at his best again.
The talent is there.
Yeah, no, the talent was always there. It's like it's very poetic in a way that Augsburger, he needs another player to unlock that talent, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, it's just great. But you know, if I ask you, you know, what are Leburger doing differently that maybe compared to their last few tournaments or to the beginning of the season, how are they getting the advantage over Coello and Tapia to win in a 3-set game?
There's a few things that I've observed, especially in this tournament. As you know, guys, this is the Off Court Podcast. We like getting nerdy.
Oh, yeah.
We like getting into the, you know, like the reasons, the whys. We're not just about vibes.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's a reason why we're glazing them up, basically.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd back ourselves up a little bit here.
And yeah, so there's several things. They had a rough start to the tournament.
Yes.
To the season. Sorry, Lebrón and Augsburger. As we said, just the week before New Giza, they got knocked out by a pair that shouldn't have beat them.
We'll preface that and be like, look, this isn't like a here to stay status, but you know.
But we have observed they are very observable differences from the Leburger of 2 months ago to the Leburger that we saw in Brussels. Let's not forget they've been together for 4 months only.
I think that's the main thing, really.
Exactly.
To be able to take out the number 1s and 2s and have a partnership of 4 months only. Okay, maybe a little bit longer. They joined at the end of last year. But yeah, I think that's something that's easily forgotten now as time goes on. This is a very new pairing, playing against Coello and Tapia, who have been together for 2-3 years, Chingalan for 2 years.
That's the main difference that separates them from, you know, the top 2 is the also the lack of experience, the lack of chemistry that we were seeing in previous tournaments. But I think now they finally had time to adjust, get used to each other. Let's not forget that they're both very special players, very different players with very specific skill sets. And there's no other forehand like Juan Lebrón. No, he has a completely unique and different style.
That statement is getting more and more gravity each time we watch them play this year.
I'm sorry,
as well.
but for me, by miles, I might get a lot of shit for this. LeBron is the best forehand in the history of the sport. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Best forehand.
My knowledge of timeline cuts off a little. I've got an early cutoff, you know what I mean?
But I mean, let's not forget, I wouldn't say that's crazy. I'm not putting Coello in this category because he is a lefty playing on the right-hand side. So I'm just talking about right-handed players playing in the right. Juan Lebrón, for me, best in the history of the sport.
Better than Chingo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. If you look at them individually, I think so.
I can't say you're not wrong. You know what I mean? Especially the way that we've seen him play.
He's unique. He's completely unique. And,
he's a beast.
And he's amazing. So the fact that LeBron is such a unique player also, you know, it took a bit of time for Augsburger to get used to that. Feels like they're finally getting somewhere in that sense.
Yeah.
Big improvement on Augsburger's defense.
Yeah, that's something that you want to talk about, but that is generally like one of the more obvious improvements that we've seen. It's when we all know what he's like at the net, but really at the back of the court it was always kind of like we're kind of wincing a little bit when we see him try to either avoid playing off the back glass or playing in the corner. And that's something that everyone that could watch him play be like, okay, the guy's obviously a monster if there's a short lob or anything like that. But look, when people are pumping in, shallow, deep balls into the back of the court that are going to die, that's his weakness. Even Augsburger himself knew, I need to improve at my defense at the back of the court, slowing down the game, not reacting, and getting control and dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah.
And that comes from the back of the court
Exactly.
as well. You know what I mean?
And it's literally that. He, of course, his comfort zone is still front,
Yeah, you can see him pushing.
net, 100%.
Yeah.
Which gets us to his other improvement. His blocks in Brussels were miles away, like way better than the ones we'd seen in the beginning of the season up until now. Even though that's his comfort zone, back of the court, you could see him dealing well with double glass, with Biboras, deep Biboras going to the double glass, moving well. He's a big guy. He's tall, getting low. I mean, he's definitely improved a lot in that sense.
In a quite a short amount of time, if you think about it. You know what I mean? The improvement is really great.
I think being in the training camp with Lebrón, being next to a guy who's as demanding on himself, on his partner, I think it's been very good for Leandro Augsburger.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely made a huge improvement. Also, a thing I observed, especially in the final, but throughout the tournament, they're now they've agreed on when Augsburger moves over to Juan's side to get those lobs on communication, when to move over to Lebrán's side and take the smash from his side.
Yeah.
He's very quick at doing that. His lateral movement over to Lebrán's side to just smack that ball. Very impressive. The way that Lebrón kind of knows, and as soon as Augsburger gives him that little shout, that little scream, he moves away. And
otherwise, I will take your head off. You know what I mean? So if you don't move, you got to fucking move.
So that was a big improvement as well.
There was a couple of funny moments. It's always funny when there's miscommunication between the two players.
There were a couple,
And they meet in the middle and they both pull out of the shot, and I'm like, okay, that's something for you guys to discuss after the game.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've worked on that and they've come back with who's actually getting this ball, and it should be Augsburger.
Also, I don't know what you think, but organization within the pair, how
the transitions,
transitions, and also we said, we spoke about it when they weren't doing so well beginning of the season, how Augsburger loves the front, Juan stays a bit more at the back, covering those more defensively.
Yeah,
and there was some split in there. There were some balls that Augsburger couldn't get to, and then Lebrón had to go over to his side. It feels like they've solved that issue a bit more, even though they still have this separation between net and back of the glass.
Yeah.
It's that they're working well in pushing the net together.
Yes.
And Juan knows when, he doesn't really need more training on that. He just already knows because he's Juan Lebrón, but how they're pushing together and how they're risking it all at the net and going for those high risk, high reward plays we were talking about before.
That's
we're going to go volley to volley against Chingalan, who are, so good at doing that. We're going to try our best. We're going to bet everything on that.
Yeah.
And, and it's giving them results. So
that's it. That's my biggest takeaway from and maybe it's not what they've worked on, but that is definitely their strategy. I think, in terms of, it's like they don't care about making errors, whether they're forced or unforced. Their mentality is almost like, we are going to shove as many points and winners down their throats that even if we make mistakes or do any fuck ups or put the ball in the net,
we're gonna overwhelm them.
Yes, yeah.
With,
we're gonna cover our own asses
Yeah.
by doing that,
Yeah.
which is like a really crazy strategy of like.
But it kind of works.
It's like the most gung ho mentality
Yeah.
ever, being like, let's go big or go home, man.
Yeah.
Because if we're
Yeah.
trying to be conservative with
Yeah.
winning points here,
Yeah.
we're just not gonna win. So let's go, let's push, let's stay at the back when we need to. Let's keep our heads on and not explode.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, they're just looking for every single winner, which
Yeah.
you think that's what every player is looking for. But these guys move a little differently,
Yeah,
I think. You
they
know,
do.
that's
100%.
the confidence of now not having a mistake. Leburger putting a ball, not Leburger, Augsburger putting a ball straight into the back wall. It doesn't matter anymore. That pressure is now gone. You know, they're kind
We
of
can give away 2 points because we smacked it into the ceiling.
yeah.
But the next 2, they're banking on them being like absolute winners.
Yeah,
from
that's them, man.
Augsburger making it fly 10
Yeah,
meters up
and
in the air.
and I guess that also adds to it. But you know, if I look at, or if we, you know, when we were watching it, like the on-court vibes, there's a better word for it, but really it's like Leburger were dictating where the ball's going, and Coello and Tapia are reacting to the ball. So really,
very interesting. Yeah.
they have that upper hand. Basically, they're controlling the pace of the game. They had full control of it, and I think that's where they were winning the points, and that's how they won the game in the last set.
Which is very hard to do against someone like
Coello
Chingalan, Coello Tapia, who are
Yeah,
more than used to being the ones controlling the pace, being in control, dictating where the ball goes. When they're at the net, and this brings us to our next point, is I think that the word to describe them and this like evolution that we've seen in Brussels is courage.
yeah,
Bravery.
Yeah,
They're
I
like,
can see that.
We don't give a flying, you know, we're just going to go and we're going to push the net.
It's like nothing to lose mentality. It's
and
like,
dude, and their volleys, when they're at the net, the volleys are pinging everywhere.
the
They're
angles.
very heavy, loads of angles, going for the double glass, going for volleys into the mesh.
Yeah.
Just really putting their defensive opponents who are defending at the time in like very difficult positions.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's
suffocate,
it.
suffocate.
Yeah.
Know?
I mean, if you think about, you know, if you ask your question, what are the biggest weaknesses of Coello and Tapia, they're in scenarios that they're not familiar with. And that's them being in a situation where they're not in control of the pace of the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's when they probably feel the most uneasy about how to approach a game or how to approach, you know, playing
not used
against.
to this.
Exactly. That's actually like your weakness. It's not it's not like a technical thing at the back. It's a momentary thing or an experience thing of who's got the momentum now and how do we come back from that?
Yeah.
You know.
And then finally, I think one of the, if not the biggest improvement, I think we'll see what you think as well. Overheads. I've seen loads of videos on Instagram. Lebrón Augsburger, now knowing that he's definitely a right-hand player.
Yeah.
The weight and speed he's putting on his overheads that are not smashes is really, really good. He's definitely trained and improved his Bibora.
Yep.
Which, I mean, out of all the amazing qualities LeBron has, his overheads that weren't smashes were, I think, one of his weakest shots.
Yeah, that's true.
Very good volleys, very good chiquitas, very good hands, very good off the glass, but maybe his,
his
when they lobbed him,
court,
weren't the best, but I've seen a big improvement in that, and also on Augsburger. Whereas before,
that's so true,
it was
actually.
smash or nothing.
Yeah, I think I saw Augsburger hit a bandeja for the first time ever, man. You know, it's that soft ball that you just know that he's going to wind for it, and it's this ball with, you know, a lot of slice. It's
loads
softer.
of spin.
I'm like, dude, okay, like that's kind of weird to see you do that, but it works.
It works, and he even said in the press conference, LeBron said it to him, and then he echoed LeBron's words. He was like, yes, I know I've been using this shot a lot more, and I know it's giving results.
Yeah,
because it's calm. It's what you said. It gives them the pace control.
Yeah,
it means like I'm not gonna like go crazy. I know when I can smash, and I can smash 9 out of 10 overheads lobs that I get as Augsburger. I can smash them, and they might be winners most likely. But now instead of 9 out of 10, he's smashing 6 or 7. And then playing more controlled, softer biboras down to the corner, which then allows them to build up the point a bit more, and then gives him, you know, it's like maybe not this one, but then if I get this ball over the net in this, like, you know, with a bibora, the next one that comes my way will be the one that I can punish.
I mean, that even when it comes to unpredictability of what shot you're going to pull off, or which is such a massive part of the game, to be able to disguise your shots and, not really be predictable.
Literally.
Augsburger was a very predictable player because, we know if he hits that smash and he gets it right, it's going out and he's got a point. But it's almost like that moment that you see him wind up, it's like, he's going to go for it. But the fact that you play the game now, that it could be a Banda, it could be a Vibora, it could go anywhere on the court, not for a Port Tres or a Port Quattro or whatever. That is another mind game they have to consider and keep on.
At this level of paddle, coaches say it all the time, players say it all the time, the importance of disguising your shots and the importance of being unpredictable is such a big part of the game.
And that he's becoming that. He's becoming more unpredictable, and his wheelhouse of shots is improving by tournament and identifying his weaknesses. And look, they got a win, guys, and they won Brussels, guys, and I think that's a very deserved win for Leburger, and I'm happy to see them do that and play at their absolute best. Can we see them continue this? I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up a few more titles for the rest of the season. I just want to see their consistency and kind of their pressure that they're putting on Coello and also Chingalan as well. I want to see another Chingalan Leburger game. Yeah. That's not how I want that to go down. I want it to be a little bit more competitive and for Chingalan to bite back and show them how well they are. But on the men's side, for the finals, absolute crazy tournament, man. And hats off to Leburger because they deserve that, and that's their tournament.
I do have one question for you before we move on.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of not hate, but maybe heat online and comments, Instagram, Reddit, etc. A lot of people talking about Augsburger's, especially his ego, the way he's reacting to points, the way he's pumping up the crowd, celebrating. What's your take on that? Do you think, because I saw a lot of people being like, dude, stay humble. Yeah, you won, but we know you can smash, but just because you got a winner by smashing, you don't need to point at your ear or
doing this.
You know what I mean? What's your what do you think? Are you
it's one of those things, right? You get away with it when you're winning, because you can't really answer back to that. You have that mentality of okay, you think you're the shit right now. I mean, there was one point in particular that I watched in I think it was. It must have been the final. It was definitely the final against Coello Tapia. And I swear 98% of the work was done by Lebrón. His amazing hands, his positioning and everything like that. And of course, the point ends with a smash from Augsburger. And you'd think he would turn around and be like, that's all you, man. That was you. And I just finished it off. For him to turn around and point at himself and be like, yeah, that was me, guys. I finished that point. To be honest, I think it's hilarious. It doesn't upset me. Yeah. I think as I said, it kind of backs up. It's like you can, and this also happened with LeBron. LeBron's ego is also really big, and he got away with it because he was number one. When you win and you have an ego, you can't really reply to it. It's when you're not winning. That's when that ego looks really bad because it kind of gets in the way. It becomes toxic. I like the way Augsburger hypes himself up. He needs that fire.
Exactly.
And if that's what he needs to do it, if that's, and I think LeBron's okay with that as long as they're winning. It's all good until it's not, you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me, the celebrations. I don't think he's, not being, respectful to LeBron and his partner. I just don't think, the nature of their relationship is like that anyway. So I think they can get away with it. It's not like how Coello and Tapia are, which is, a very wholesome and respectful partnership. You look at LeBron and Augsburger, it's this was the braggadocious pairing that, comes with a lot of punch, you know what I mean? And that's how they celebrate, and that's how they celebrate.
If they can back it up with results. Yeah, I think it's and also don't forget, guys, that it's probably he's that type of player, Augsburger, and he just needs that to he's got to do it, bro. He's got to do it. Yeah, yeah. Does he look like a dickhead if he does that and they're not getting the results? Of course they do. Yeah. But that's what he has to do, and it doesn't bother me. I think it's quite funny. Yeah, and it's a bit of for the show.
I think it's funny, man. Yeah, exactly. I'm there for it. But yeah, no hate to Augsburger. But yeah, I keep doing what you're doing, man. It seems like it's working anyway. We'll see. Hopefully they don't get knocked out before quarterfinals in the next tournament. But now we're just kind of hoping on. They've proved themselves a little bit more now that they deserve a spot. they can beat the number ones and number twos. So I think let's see them pick up a few more titles for the rest of the season. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I want another Chingalan game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them. I want to see Chingalan clap back a little bit as well at Leburger.
Closer game and more disputed.
Exactly. No more like, oh, Galan was in his head. Like, I want them to be playing at their fucking best.
Yeah.
And to hash it out all on the court.
Three-setter.
Yeah,
stonker.
three-setter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy shots. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm manifesting for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we reached the end of the segment for our main sort of stars of the show, Leburger, but I think we do want to cover one or two more games, actually.
Before getting into the women's as well, which we need to talk about, I think we need to skim over a little bit the match of the tournament.
Yeah, bro.
The quarterfinals between Coki, Sanz, and Coello Tapia.
Or the 2024 Barcelona Finals version 2, guys.
Literally, man.
Come on. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's when Coki and Sanz...
And John beat the number ones
at the Barcelona Finals.
Completely unexpected, and they took the trophy. Yeah.
I mean,
this was an insane game. This was another 3-setter.
Yep.
It was the tension, the rallies we saw. The level from all four players was ridiculous. So I think it needs to be, we need to speak about it.
We need to touch
on
it, that's for sure.
Obviously, Coello and Tapia took it. It was a 7-6, 7-6, 5-7, 6-3. I mean, massive game for Coki and Sanz. As you said, flashbacks to the 2024.
I mean, extra shout out to John Sanz, who's an absolute animal.
Yeah.
And also makes so many mistakes, but that's fine.
That's fine.
It's
high
fine
risk, high reward.
When you do that.
Yeah.
His smash is incredible. The energy of those two on court, I can understand why one of your favorite pairings is... I mean, that's just pure paddle in my eyes, man.
Dude,
that's really what it is.
Heart that Coki and John Sanz, literally, man. The sweat, the how they work the points, how they work towards the sets, everything. They just emanate passion.
Yeah.
For the sport and for the game. It's amazing
also,
to watch.
Yeah, massive, also for Coki too, but I think, we just mentioned the Barcelona Finals, almost 2 years ago now. But just the improvement for John Sanz as a player in the last year, 100%. I think. And nice that him and Coki are playing again together, obviously. He's just, one of those players that, he packs so much aggression and danger, and he puts his heart out on the court, basically. Yeah. That's what I think probably the most expressive players to go and watch, man. Where I mean,
there were some crazy highlights from this game, especially from John Sanz. The one where he smashes, Tapia gets the dunk out. John Sanz is already running out of the court, puts the ball back in from basically where people the side of the court where they were courtside seats. Puts it back in, runs back into the court, and ends up winning the point with I think it was a nice volley to the mesh that catches Tapia off guard.
Yeah,
but it was
animal.
I mean, amazing. Also, not getting broken by Coello and Tapia in 2 sets is already crazy, because they lose the first one 7-6, but there's no break points there, and then they are the ones who take the second set by breaking Coello and Tapia at the end of the set and taking it 7-5.
Yeah, which is a mental comeback, that's for sure.
However, though, we need to talk about
that's what I want to talk about.
The key what happened, Connor? The key moment.
The biggest L I've seen in paddle in a long time, guys. It was such a weird...
So strange.
It was in the third set, I believe, right? It was in the third set or second set?
Yeah, third set.
It was in the third set. Okay. And there was a moment where Coello and Tapia were in a position to break Coki and Sanz, right?
Yeah.
And there is a crazy fast-paced ball, all of this. Coello goes for the jump, landing on the ground, throwing his whole body, and manages to get the racket on the ball to return and keep the ball in play.
He falls to the ground while doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And immediately, Coki calls a double touch.
Well, it was actually... it was kind of immediately.
Who called it?
Yeah, Coki did.
Oh, okay,
So he plays a very
soft.
Well, it was a very heavy volley to the back of the glass.
Yeah.
Coello just gets it, falls to the ground while doing so, then gets it over the net. Then Coki plays another volley, kind of drop shotty towards Coello's side. Tapia comes all over to that side to get it.
Yeah.
Also falls to the ground while getting it back. Tapia also gets it over the net, and in between Coello falling and Tapia falling, Coki kind of puts his hands up and
Stops
says
the
like,
play.
but basically after Tapia gets it over the net, it bounced in front of Coki. If Coki had just like literally played it to the other side,
Yeah.
both Coello and Tapia were on the floor.
You had the point.
The point was won.
Yeah.
But he somehow stops the point and calls a double touch on Coello's.
And normally the players are pretty. Their sportsmanship is very
especially
good.
Coello,
Especially Coello as well.
Know?
He's a brand ambassador for good sportsmanship. But like, yeah, he would have called that if he felt the double
100%.
touch. A lot of other players would have called it as well. He said that he was falling. He didn't even see it, let alone feel it. Because he didn't feel anything because it wasn't a double touch. So it went to VAR or video review.
Yeah.
And it was a moment of this of being like, okay, look, you've now put yourself in a circumstance that, Coki, if you're wrong, you're also going to lose the point. They're going to break
get
you.
broken. Yeah.
From this, it's a really bad call to make.
When you could have just like tapped the ball in and it would have
exactly. And it goes to this decision, and you get back and they look at the video review, and they go, you only touched it once. You didn't get it.
No.
Coki, Sanz, you guys lost a point there. You now got broke. You're in the third set.
And then it's like this awkward, like there's no double touch from Coello, and they go to the benches.
Even Coello and Tapia, yeah.
Coello and Tapia were like with Gus Prato. They were like,
they're like, bro, we don't feel good about that.
Coello was saying like, this is such a
bad.
Okay, like I know it's not my fault, but like I don't want to win a point this way, especially such an important key point.
Yeah.
And they were both like, well, I mean, there's nothing we can do. Like, and I think he like gestured to Coki after the benches, being like,
sorry,
dude,
bro,
I'm sorry. But Coki was like, dude, don't worry. I'm so bad. He was like, I'm bad. It's my fault. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we've seen it in the past.
Yeah.
We've seen Coello and Tapia in the past winning a point that shouldn't have been won by them, and they'll give away the point as well. They'll either tap it out and try keep it as even as possible. But yeah, very strange to see. I bet Coki was kicking himself after the game, because that was a really, really bad call, maybe made in the heat of the moment. Maybe your eyes are deceiving sometimes, and you really thought and
I think
believed
it's
in it.
literally heat of the moment. I don't think he probably when his brain made the decision to raise his hand, he didn't think that he thought that Tapia would probably get it over with a lob or something, and that the point would be harder to win.
Yeah.
I think it was too late once he realized that they were both on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
so,
for such a great game, it had a weird moment like that, which I think does, you get one break point on your opponent and then you're sailing away, basically. That last set ended 6-3. Still, regardless, a really good game, just a bit of a funky outcome, or that's not really the right way advantages should be given in paddle, that's for sure, in any sport really. But that's a game that was incredible for us to watch. We both enjoyed watching it.
And I mean, as you said before, a shout out to John Sanz, is an absolute animal when he has a good day. He's locked in. Coki, an absolute beast. He just gets one more ball over and over and over. This dude does not get tired. Inextinguishable player. Shout out to their chemistry as well between Coki and Sanz.
I love
nice
it,
to see them back together. Showing that they can really excel in courts like Brussels and other maybe slower courts, and they can put Coello and Tapia against the ropes. And it was a silly mistake by Coki, but that game could have ended like the Barcelona final of 2024.
Do you think if that moment didn't happen, they could have won the game?
Like genuinely, it was a massive turning point. I don't know if they would have, but I think it would have changed everything.
I wonder how Coki's mentality was after he realized that he just did
I think he handled it pretty well, to be honest.
He's like, it happened. Like, what? I can't really do anything. I think I would have lost my mind if I think I'm too silly to realize that I did something that stupid. I'll be honest, and just be like, oh, okay, that's really embarrassing. But fuck, it happens sometimes.
And if we just skim over the numbers here real quick, 29 winners, 24 unforced errors for John Sanz, 24-11 for Coki, 36-12 for Coello, and 30-18 for Tapia. Nothing major here, just basically on the diagonal, Coello versus John Sanz, Coki versus Tapia. Both Coello and Tapia were individually better than their counterparts diagonally. More winners, less unforced errors, essentially.
I mean, but shout out to a great game that we got in the quarterfinals, that's for sure. I think that kind of echoes the experience of watching Brussels P2. Not only beautiful, but you get insane games that we got this weekend. So it's a good tournament to come back to and do an episode on, man. And we can't forget, because we also want to cover the women's finals too.
For sure.
Because Bea González Paula Josemaría.
They're on a streak, man.
3, especially against Triay Brea, who are the number ones, right? Meeting them in the finals for the last 3 tournaments, including Brussels, and beating them each time now. You know what? I think, this is kind of what when we kind of briefly touched on it earlier, but, maybe similar to Lebrón and Augsburger, a pairing that took a little bit longer for them to really figure out how they should play, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Coming into the 2026 season this year, obviously, I think out of a lot of the new pairings, especially on the women's side, where they were the highest or highly anticipated pairing. And it was a bit like frustrating to see them not really click originally.
Yeah,
now they
performed worse than we imagined
they
would.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, you know what, it's expected, but really, I'm really happy for them now that they kind of kicked in the extra gear here. They're finding out how to play with each other, and I think now they're putting a lot of pressure on the number one.
I mean, 100%. We saw it in the race before the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
They took the win 7-5, 6-2.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? How did you feel about this final? What was the takeaway?
The game itself was a little bit lackluster from Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea. It wasn't like similar to Chingalan as well, losing in the semifinals. It was a more strategic and tactical win than a win over power or dominance basically. Yeah. So you won in 2 sets, that's for sure. But I think kind of backing what I was saying about how Gonzalez and Josemaria play now. I think their weaknesses and what their downfalls were at the beginning of the season versus now.
It's kind of like a Lebrón Augsburger vibe, where it's like they've had a bit of time now to work
I think
on that.
their biggest weakness, you have an amazing player like Bea González playing on the left side, and an absolute powerhouse who is a lefty as well playing on the right side, Josemaria. That communication of who gets the ball down the middle, I think a lot of us could experience it as well. Most of the time, we're not going to play with if you're playing on the left side. You're not going to play with a left-handed person. It just doesn't happen that often. It's a rarity. But in that odd scenario, I'm sure you've had that moment too where you play with a lefty. It does take some time to realize, okay, look, maybe that ball is actually better for the player on the right side to take just because it gives them an advantage. Yeah. And that's something that we saw a lot. The communication of who should take the ball. Also, Bea González's first time-ish playing with a lefty as well. That was their biggest downfall, really. And, to see their improvement of where they should be and who's taking what ball. I think that's what's given them their bit of a winning streak basically, and their competitive advantage, and actually like owning up to like their actual level of paddle, and they're figuring out their kinks. But I saying that, it was Gemma Triay and Delphi's not good day. You know what I mean? Especially for Delphi too. I think.
I also think that it's, as you said before, just to echo this, the whole chemistry between Bea and Paula.
Yes.
Bea is trusting Josemaria's overheads a bit more.
Yep.
And she's also, Josemaria is very used to, especially playing with Ari for such a long time. She is used to, and I think has had to adjust to maybe not necessarily having to be the most defensive player of the two. Trusting that Bea can take 100%. Those powerful shots, and that maybe the winners could go on Bea's side a bit more, because she does have the capacity for it. Ari had a bit less capacity. She had other qualities. Yeah. But she's more used to being like, I need to smash. I need the power. I need to put the pressure in that aspect. Yeah. Because my partner can't. So it's allowing this pairing and this adjustment and getting used to allowing Paula Josemaría to also, we're also seeing a more defensive side of her.
Yeah, man.
Because she's playing with Bea now. She's allowing herself to unlock that side of her game a bit more.
It's
if that
true.
Makes sense.
Paula's also is amazing to watch in that final too, because she found possibly like every angle to screw over Gemma Triay and Delphi as well. And sure. She was the finisher. If we can also look at the stats as well as of this game too.
It's for Delphi and Gemma, it's literally what you said 2 seconds ago, like they both have negative ratios of winners to unforced errors. 13-17 for Delphi and 13-15 for Gemma. That is, if one of them does that, it's okay, but like especially from Gemma. Yeah, Gemma, who's like she's the winner queen.
Man.
She gets like an average of like 25 winners per match.
That's when you know they're not playing at their.
Seeing her perform that way is a bit. It's not great. It's a bit
disappointing.
sad. For a total of for Delphi and Gemma, 26 winners and 32 unforced errors.
Yeah.
And then Gonzalez and Josemaria, 32 winners, 24 unforced errors. Also, 12 breakpoint opportunities for Gonzalez and Josemaria.
Yeah, you can see where the pressure was.
They only converted 5, but still, like...
Yeah. I mean, 5's a lot anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it still goes to show, like, the opportunities they had.
In the most stressful moments.
Yeah.
And they were kind of commanding that the whole game, basically.
Yeah.
And look, they won, and that's it, you know? They can get another win under their belt, keep the momentum going. You know,
and now the race is on, man.
I mean, the race is on, that's for sure, but we're also looking at a little bit of like an unsteady period from the number ones. You know, Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea took the number one spot last year, dethroning Ari Sanchez and Josemaria, but also, you know, maybe not directly ending their partnership of, you know, Ari and Paula of like 3 years of being number one.
2.5 or,
2.5, something like that. And you know what? Like, because let's put our like futuristic glasses on and see into the future a little bit. But, you know, now we're getting a bit of an unrocky period. Let's forecast ourselves to the end of the year. Josemaria and Bea González take the number one spot. They dethrone the current queens of paddle.
Yeah.
Will Gemma Triay and Delphi Brea stay together if they lose the number one spot?
I could see them splitting up.
Yeah, well, that also opens another question. Who do they play with?
I could see them splitting up. Maybe I don't think the reason for them splitting up would be the fact that they lose the number one spot.
Damn.
Even if because maybe they don't finish number ones, but they still do a very good season.
Yeah.
And they like kind of split trophies with Bea and Paula.
Yeah.
But if they did split up, it'd be very interesting.
I mean, it would open up a lot
maybe like after this season, they would have been playing together, Delphi and Gemma, for a long time. So I could see them, switching it up. I mean, I could see Gemma going back to a younger player, a Promise.
Not
Fernandez, although it could be, but maybe someone like...
Someone's playing on the right side.
Maybe Ustero. You know?
Gemma Triay Ustero could be pretty...
Gemma Triay Ustero could be potential, which would leave Delphi
and Sanchez
to play with Ari Sanchez, which is a very good team. Individually, both very good players.
It feels weird, actually. It feels a bit strange,
but I think they're too similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mirror.
They have similar skill sets.
Yeah. Where they don't cover the weaknesses as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that would be an amazing pairing.
Maybe another pairing that we didn't get to speak about this week that have been doing really well, but Tammy Accardo and Claudia Jensen as well. I think they work very well together though. So breaking them up might not be the
vibes
same.
Are immaculate.
Yeah, they're 10 out of 10 for the vibes. That's for sure.
But I don't know. I mean,
let's lock your answers in. Gemma Triay, Ostera, and then who plays with Delphi?
Delphi,
okay.
But then there's the crazy pair switch up.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, we've got the golden phone is in Gemma's hands.
Of course, everyone wants to play with her.
In between Delphi and Gemma, Gemma is the one who creates the chaos, the ripple effect.
Yeah.
In the rankings, right? If she decides she wants a new partner.
Yeah.
What if Gemma Triay calls up Paula Josemaría?
Shots fired. I think that would
be
an insane...
And then Delphi goes back with Bea. Then in that case, I don't know, maybe.
I think that
let's start with the first one.
Almost feels illegal.
Yeah.
If Gemma Triay were to call Paula Josemaría and say, "Hey, like I know you're playing with Gonzalez, why don't you play with me?" In that process, taking probably one of the best, you know, right side players. Also eliminating the threat of what would be the most dangerous pairing they had in one swift move. 2 birds, 1 stone. Let me take the best player that I could possibly get and also remove the competition at the same time.
Yeah.
That seems like some absolute 5-head strategy right there.
Yeah.
That would create...
Feels a bit illegal, yeah.
It doesn't, but it's
like
not
insider trading a little bit.
I feel like that could be insane. Yeah. And plus a Gemma Triay and Paula Josemaría combo... That's like you're looking at the Titan, I think, right? All the pairings. I don't think anyone else can come with a combination now, really.
You're looking at talent.
The Delphi
matched
Breas.
with like the same amount. You're looking at the two most
It's too mean, man.
talented
They're too mean.
players. Yeah,
I like
and,
that scenario,
and
though.
skillful. Yeah, I
Would
mean, I
be
don't know. The
disgusting.
thing about the women's side is the amount of very, very good lefties you have to choose from.
Yeah.
Because in the men's side, you've got obviously Coello, but
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere. But then really, I mean, there's John Sanz is probably the next best lefty after Coello, if I'm not mistaken. Who else is there in the, you know what I mean?
Gosh. Yeah, no,
you've got Chingo, you've got Dineno, you've got Juan Lebrón on the right hand.
No, we're looking for lefties, yeah. There isn't anyone.
It's John Sanz, and then you go to like Maxi Arce,
It's endless.
Cardona, I don't know, like, you know.
It is
but
endless.
you've got Paula Josemaria, you've got Ustero.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of combos there on the women's side that
It
you
could get
do.
messy.
But
I still
let
like,
us know what you guys think.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
interesting question. Obviously hypothetical, but like,
yeah, that
what
would be
could
the,
happen?
the biggest blowback if
Yeah.
Triay stole Paula Josemaria. Anyway, these are all speculations. We
Yeah.
thought we'd end the episode on
Mhm.
a fun little idea, guys. But look, it's been so good to be back.
It's amazing.
We're here. Sorry we were quiet over the last tournaments, but we're here. We'll be here for
We're here
the
to
for the
stay.
forthcoming future. We're also excited for London. We just got our tickets to the London P1 as
Yeah.
well, so we'll shout that out as
Yeah.
well if you're any of the London-based people or
Mhm.
people who want to travel here for that. I
Mhm.
can't wait. Will be my first time seeing Premier Padel players IRL in the flesh, popping balls out,
Yeah.
London style. Let's go. The
Still
home
a
of
few
our
months to
podcast.
go though, but
Yeah, it is.
lovely to be back.
Yeah.
Amazing episode. Super happy. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, comment. We love hearing you. We love
You know the
seeing your
drill.
opinions. You know the drill. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.